All right, ladies and gentlemen, the saga of the payment processors and censorship continues, where we now have an interesting compilation and a little bit of information coming out from Madam Savvy yet again. So she made a post over here on X that details how certain people that are usually all about pro-censorship, that are usually all about being anti-gamer, anti-chud, anti-everything, suddenly they are now all trying to join the conversation and pretend like they suddenly care about fighting censorship. I just find the entire thing to be completely ironic. So if you guys are unaware, maybe you missed my last video, and if you did, consider checking it out on the channel. I made a video talking about how itch.io just recently decided to delist every single NSFW game that they have on their platform. They went one step above. Well, to be fair, probably 10 steps above, but they went many steps above and beyond past what Steam did and decided to delist everything. There is not a single NSFW game that you could get on itch.io right now. It's impossible. They delisted everything, and they plan to supposedly bring back some of it in the future when they figure out which is allowed to stay and which needs to be censored. But again, that's all going to be at the behest of the payment processors and not itch.io themselves. It's a ridiculous situation. But the reason why I'm bringing up IO right now is because they are the reason why all of these anti-gamer, pro-censorship, ridiculous people that we have covered many times in the past all of a sudden now want to pretend as if they're anti-censorship. What's the reason? And that's because itch.io obviously has hosted a lot of LGBTQ content. Itch.io has a bunch of NSFW LGBTQ content, all the kind of furry games you could possibly imagine. It's not just Steam. This platform also had it. They had a bunch of other LGBTQ-oriented adult video games, and the simple fact is they all got taken down. Now suddenly, because it's not just the chuds that are getting their video games banned, now that the LGBTQ crowd is getting their games banned, we all tried to warn them. Now all of a sudden they care about censorship. So we're going to go over this whole post here, and I got a couple of other posts that I want to go over from Madam Savvy, as well as Basil the Great, talking about UK and a recent revelation about their whole, supposed age law that they have going on when it comes to adult content. So Savvy makes a post here on X, and it's starts with the following. She says, even the pro-censorship, gamer-hating crew are against the censorship, finally. However, never forget who they are and how we warned them what their behavior would lead to. You know what's funny? I would cover this stuff all the time. We cover censorship whenever it happens, and every single time we talk about the censorship, it is always in the favor of these kind of people, right? It's never in our favor. It's always in their favor. It's always a game like Stellar Blade, for example, getting censored. It's always games that they deem to be, I guess, heterosexual style games, or games that are meant for the male gaze, or whatever excuse, gooner games, whatever excuse they want to put out there. It was always those kind of games that were getting censored. But now that it's LGBTQ adult games that are also getting taken down as well, suddenly now they want to start complaining and pretend like we need to do something, even though we've been talking about this for the longest time and telling them that the slippery slope is a real thing. And if they continue to support these psycho-feminists and these payment processors, if they continue to support this behavior, it's only a matter of time before it comes for them. The funny thing is, some of these people, and we're going to talk about it, were caught supporting Collective Shout, or at least in the beginning. Booty Adams, for example, openly wanted them on his podcast, said they were doing amazing work, and it was because they were censoring the supposed chud video games. Little did he know that this supposed feminist group is actually not a feminist group at all. They're actually religious zealots that are out here trying to censor everything and get everybody to hate them left, right, and center. So all of a sudden, when he finds that out, what does he do? He deletes his invite tweet. He invited them on their podcast. He sends out an invite tweet, and then he deletes it within 24 hours because he realized how stupid he looked. It's the most ridiculous situation. But in any case, people like Vita enabled censorious groups by dismissing gamers and their concerns. People like Booty Adams, who cheered for Collective Shout, who had to quietly delete his tweet after I called him out, and while calling him out, made a jab at journalism at him only for him to retweet a post implying podcasts broadcasting and journalism are different, confirming that he saw me embarrassing him. People at Kotaku, Current Informer, remember they cheer on Collective Shout and called me horrible names for defending No Mercy. I'm glad that she's making this post because we need to keep these people in line and make sure that everybody understands the absolute hypocrisy that every single one of them showcase on a daily basis, especially now. This is such a ridiculous situation where I can't even believe that they're now trying to come out and pretend like suddenly they're against censorship when they were the ones that were advocating for censorship for the last few years now, especially when the Stellar Blade thing went down, that whole debacle, when that exploded. Guess who was on the side of telling gamers they need to get over it and that censorship is okay with that particular video game? It was these people. These people were the ones that were doing that. And now all of a sudden, because their gay games are being taken down, now suddenly it's a problem. It's the most ridiculous thing. But anyway, people at Kotaku did it, and then not a peep about the biggest news and entertainment from any game blocking website in any meaningful way. Well, see, here's the funny thing, Savvy. So there are articles out there right now over the last day or two that are finally covering the censorship from mainstream gaming websites. But guess what? They're not really talking about Steam. They're talking about itch.io. And the reason why they're talking about that is because their gay games have been gotten taken down. And that is the only reason why they are now suddenly trying to join the conversation as if they always cared about it. So she says, remember them well. And when this is over, shame them completely and gatekeep them from what we will rebuild. Let them toil with themselves in their own messes. Yes, I will remain bitter. I won't be the bigger person because they ruined the goodwill. And I agree with that. So she ends up putting up some screenshots from a few woke people that are on Blue Sky, right? People with pronouns, all kinds of stuff. This person, Vito, who cheered on censorship, is now suddenly reposting people that are fighting against the censorship. She reposted this person called Diesel Brain that says, we are going to need to keep up the yelling at the payment processors energy for more than just today. Ideally, we would need to keep up this pressure over a span of a few weeks. As many people as possible, each making 2 to 4 phone calls a day for a few weeks is going to make the biggest impact. She also retweeted someone called Ruby Cobalt, who says, laughing my ass off. I called Visa's customer service support. The guy on the other line was like, are you also calling about the video game payment processing? Please send us emails instead. Keep up the calls, folks. We're definitely gumming up their works. There's another screenshot here from someone called Super Dylan that says there is no acceptable sacrificial lamb to appease purity culture apparently now. Now we're calling it purity culture, all because the LGBTQ games got taken down. Whatever weird little pervert you are personally icked by should not be collateral damage in any discussion where essentially banks are vying to be the arbiters of morality so they can decide whose dirty, evil money they get to pocket. And the funny thing is, again, I agree with all of this, right? I agree with all this. I agree that the payment processors should not be the ones that should dictate what you do as a grown-ass adult. This should not be a thing, right? If it's not illegal content, then they should not have any say over literally anything. It's ridiculous. And you'll have people try to go to bat for these payment processors, which again, I don't understand why anybody would even do that, but you know, people got a shill, even if they feel like they're being counterculture. That's really what it is. Like, people who want to be counterculture will just say the opposite of whatever the thing is going on at the time. This person called Megda says it's time to complain about the delisting of NSFW games on Steam and itch.io. Tell these payment processors they need to stop listening to these boring anti-porn, thought-policing, friendless tossers and start listening to us instead. There is no art without queers, sluts, apparently, perverts, and weirdos. It's like, okay. So again, you can clearly see where this person is coming from, right? The first thing they said is there is no art without queers. These are clearly people who are upset that their LGBTQ games got taken down. They're very angry about that. And that's all it took. That's all it took for them to realize, like, hey, what we were saying the entire time, we weren't just making that up. It's obviously going to happen. This slippery slope is only going to continue to get worse, which is why we continue to talk about it, to try to inform as many people as humanly possible. So if you are being informed by this video, even in the slightest, consider liking the video. I would greatly appreciate it. So it says from Savvy, big words from people who actually violate Australian law by misgendering me with the intent to vilify and discredit. You are the ones lying about adult games being marketed to 12-year-olds. You are the ones chasing bakeries for text. You are the ones harassing charities and anyone fundraising for breast cancer in a manner you don't like, going after multiple, not just Playboy-owned companies. What's worse is you took pride in shutting down money for breast cancer research. You defend cuties, but wanted Detroit become human, banned, and refused to engage with anyone on why. And Collective Shot really is a case of losers doing loser stuff. And then she makes a whole bunch of screenshots showcasing what they did to try to get certain things taken down that they didn't like, whether it was billboards, art, a bakery. They really didn't care. It didn't matter. They wanted to take it all down because it just made them upset, I guess. They really don't like anything. These people are perpetually miserable. And keep in mind, she's officially been blocked by Collective Shout. She's also been blocked by the woman who's behind Collective Shout. And she even says that Collective Shout right now, who is privated, by the way, they are losing followers. They're being abandoned by the unsuspecting individuals who have their compassion weaponized. Truth works. Facts are all we need. Post their ridiculous behavior. They put themselves on display after all, defending cuties. But once Detroit Human banned, they wanted to take credit for payment processors suddenly being aggressive and tens of thousands of games being banned. How that worked out. Collective Shout encodes pro-censorious losers in entertainment industry, governments, payment processors. I could do this all day. The world will see your behavior and fight. So listen, she's doing a great job. Shout out to Madam Savvy. And I've always said in every single video when discussing her tweets, if you guys are not following her, consider following her. She does a great job. And this is how far things are going to go, okay? We have a post here from Basil the Great. And recently, as you guys are aware, maybe you're not aware, the whole like safety act, the Internet Safety Act over at the UK is now a thing where they're trying to basically make you dox yourself in order to view adult content and totally promising you that they're not going to keep your information. They're totally promising you they're not going to keep your picture or anything like that. Well, in any case, apparently it has been revealed that the new online safety bill that is currently censoring people online can apparently be rewritten with even stricter laws at any time whatsoever by a government minister with no vote required and no checks required either. Just one person writes to Ofcom and it's done. We officially live in 1984. So again, this whole thing is all happening at once. I'm not surprised, to be honest with you. This is going to get much, much worse. This is why we need to continue to talk about it. So don't just share my videos. Don't just like my videos, and don't just comment on my videos. I encourage you to look at other content creators that are talking about this stuff. Get the word out there. Spread the conversation out there. And I don't give a shit what part of the political aisle you are on. Left, right, or center means absolutely zero to me. They are going to come after the games that you enjoy. I don't play these Gooner games. I don't care about the Gooner games, but I care about the right for someone to be able to play the game that they want to play. And if that's a Gooner game, then they should be able to play it so long as it's not illegal. This content is not illegal, and it's only a matter of time before they do come after games that I enjoy, before they do come after my violent video games, my shooting games, before they do come after Stellar Blade permanently and think that it's problematic because of its depiction of women. It's only a matter of time before they do come after a game that you enjoy playing. And then by the time you get off your ass and realize that you should have did something, well, it's just going to be too late. So let me know in the comments down below, what do you think about this entire situation? And if you enjoyed the video, consider hitting that like button and subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next one.